Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Inurere podcast series. As usual, I'm your host, Bidemi Adedire. Today, we are exploring ways in which women in African communities play a crucial role in the African giving space. And as you can see on your screen, you're seeing two beautiful women that we will be chatting with today. This episode will explore the powerful role of African women in driving community-focused giving practices across the continent through leadership, support, and economic initiatives. We are honored today to have Folakemi Adesina and Malingose Chipeta join us on this episode. Let's talk about Folakemi a bit before she says hi to us all. Folakemi is the founder of the Do Good charity initiative. She's a passionate advocate for the rights of children and women with a legal background and a dedication to non-profit management. Folakemi has made a positive impact on over 25,000 individuals in various states in Nigeria. She holds a master's degree in sustainable humanitarian action, and she is an award-winning innovator and humanitarian. Folakemi also plays pivotal roles, serving as the country lead for GivingTuesday Nigeria, the Lagos State Coordinator for Good Deeds Day International, and an ambassador for the Global Impact Network. Driven by a profound commitment to effect change, she focuses on uplifting the lives of children and women in undeserved communities while advocating for the eradication of poverty among these populations. Wow. Now, before we hear from Folakemi, you are seeing someone else on your screen, so I'm going to introduce her as well. We are honored, really excited. Like, in my mind, I'm dancing and I'm saying, finally, we have here Malingose Chipeta, who is an accomplished development professional with extensive experience in project management, policy advocacy, and of course, humanitarian work. She is the country lead for GivingTuesday Zambia. Let's talk about our remarkable journey. We've seen Mali engage with various organizations to drive change in communities across Africa. So it's not just a Zambia thing. She has a strong background in sustainable development. She has a passion for empowering vulnerable populations. And her journey is one of determination and a commitment to make a difference. Please join me in welcoming Malingose Chipeta, and I really hope I'm pronouncing these names right. Mali, hi. Folakemi,
hi.
Hi, Bidemi. I'm super excited to be here this morning.
I am so glad you're here. Like, I have two amazing women leading GivingTuesday in their country, so this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me. I'm excited to have you both.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you too. Don't worry. The time for questions and answers is coming, so you will have to say something. And it's actually going to start now. We have the generosity exercise happening now, because that's the segment. You're going to pick a number between 1 and 30, and then you would answer a thought-provoking question around generosity, obviously. So I'm going to start with you, Mali. Pick between 1 to 30.
I'll pick 26.
Why are we picking 26?
Yeah, because my birthday is on the 26th of March. So, yeah, let's see what 26 gives us.
I think you're going to love 26. So, what is the best advice you have received about giving and generosity?
So the best advice that I've received is from a number of people is to never give up on generosity, to never give up on what I believe in, and to just continue pushing. And I have definitely seen the benefits of being generous and loving it.
Absolutely. Fola, let's come back to you. Pick between 1 to 30. Remember, 26 is gone.
All right, I'll go with number 7.
Why are we picking number 7?
Well, I feel 7 is for perfection, so
I had a feeling you were going to say that. Okay, number 7. What have you received that touched you deeply? Tell us about it.
Oh, okay. So last month we opened an hygiene bank in my organization. It was a new initiative, and so I never knew my management team, some of our volunteers were actually planning something for me, because August was my birthday. So I didn't know that they were planning some. But when they came up with the gifts, they came up with different gifts, and I saw it. I was shocked because I never expected it actually. I was really shocked, and I actually told them that for my birthday, most time I don't usually get gifts like that. So it was really very touching.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so sweet. I absolutely
Beautiful.
love that.
Thank you.
Okay, I have just one more question for you both, and it's the same question. So,
Okay.
Inurere is the theme of this podcast series, and I feel like Folakemi will understand where that comes from. Inurere means someone who is selfless, someone who has a clean heart, someone who has a mind of goodness, kindness, lovingness, and good fortune. Now, that sounds like one word having so many meanings, and that's just the beauty of our African languages. So I'm going to come to Mali first, so I can give Folakemi some time to think about another word in our language that represents generosity. So Mali, is there a word in Zambia or in your community in Zambia that sounds just like Inurere? What is it called?
I would say Zambia has a lot of languages, but then I would say in one of the languages, which is called Kutandizila, it means to give help, it means to be generous. Yeah,
Kutandazila. Did I pronounce it right?
Kutandizila. Yeah, good, correct.
I love that. Hmm. Okay, Fala, let's come to you. What term would you give us that represents generosity aside from Inurere? Because I know you are from the Yoruba speaking part of Nigeria.
Yes. Yeah. So I think Itorianu, or I think Itorianu, like doing good. Itorianu is like you are doing good to someone. So I think that's another way to put generosity. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I'm going to now sort of ask my own questions. We are going into the conversation proper. Are you ready?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's come to Mali. You've been in the development space for years. You've seen firsthand how women play a key role in their communities. Can you share, you know, some knowledge around the fact that African giving traditions is deeply rooted in solidarity?
Okay. Like Africa in general, Africans, we are givers. Africans, we're generally um, generous. Yeah, so um, Africa, when actually women in particular, because we're talking about women will not see a neighbor suffering. Women will not see, they'll be the first, if you have a funeral, they'll be the first ones to come and help cook, organize the food. Your child is sick, they will come and help you, they will escort you to the hospital. When you're giving birth, if your relatives cannot come, you'll find that women in the neighborhood will come and help with bringing charcoal, with coming to help with the cooking, just coming to help with the cleaning up. So generally, we are Africans are generally givers. Africans are generally generous, and I think this cuts across most African countries. We're not individualistic, but whatever we do, we try and do it as a community. We try and just stand for each other as communities and help where we can. And most of the times, you find that it's women doing it because it's just like I think giving is genetically just inborn in the women to just they don't want where you just don't want to see someone suffering, you don't want to see your neighbor suffering, you don't want to see your child suffering, so you just go out and do what you can. So I think it's just in us. It's just in African women. It's just in us to be generous.
I totally agree, Mali. I think for us women, because we do so much at the same time, we are juggling a lot of things at the same time. When someone helps us or renders any form of service, we tend to appreciate it because we feel like, oh my God, you're giving me such a relief. And we also we want people to also experience that as well. So we always band together, especially when there's a huge project or there's a function or there's a wedding. You see women gathering around to
Exactly.
just ensure the bride has some time to herself and all of that. I find that very interesting and amazing to see. I'm going to go to Fola now, but I'll come back to you shortly. Let's talk about challenges. We've seen that women give a lot. Women give their very self, literally, to the society. Can we talk about the challenges women face in trying to participate in the society, trying to engage in these giving practices? Maybe name 2 challenges if you can, and what you are doing to address these challenges.
All right, thank you very much, Bidemi. So, I remember that when I met Mali in Portugal during the Giving Tuesday conference, and I remember we talked about family, we talked about, how the development work is going in Zambia and in Nigeria. And one of the things that usually comes to mind when you see 2 young women maybe doing something in the development world is, where did you put your children? Like, you guys are out of your community, and like, you have children, they believe that the stereotype is there, the cultural norm, like when women face this societal expectation, it actually limits them from their leadership role, because a lot of people will feel that because you have children you cannot participate in this kind of a thing, you are going to have divided attention. So all these cultural norms, and because of the society expectations, it actually limits a whole lot of women from participating in leadership role. Another point is limited to access or access to resources. When most women, they actually face a lot of financial independence, they have less financial independence, and it actually restricts them from their ability to contribute significantly to anything. So when you bring them together, it's always a problem, like, because they are not financially independent. So another challenge is balancing multiple roles. I remember when I finished my law school and I got a job with a law firm, and I got married just right immediately after my law school. And I remember one of my boss then, the word she said was that, how are you going to manage being a lawyer
Yeah.
and raising a family, that you are not even up to a year working with us and you're already married? So a lot of balancing
Yeah.
multiple roles, most time it's always a challenge to um for them to have these leadership roles. And I believe that one of the solutions that we can actually provide for this kind of problems, like limited resources, is having like a financial empowerment program, providing literacy, financial literacy, and support programs that could actually make women to participate more. There are a lot of women out there who don't really understand, who don't really know how to go about their finance. So I believe that financial empowerment is very important. And also, I think promoting awareness on education, on gender equality, and the importance of women in philanthropy can actually challenge stereotypes. It's very important. Awareness and education is very important. So, and also I feel that having an inclusive policy, organizations could actually adopt policies that would promote inclusion of women in leadership and decision making rules. It's very important. I think policies are, policies should be something that we should take very serious in our country, in Nigeria and in other African countries, because women are, when you see the percentage of women participating in a whole lot of things, it's still very low, considering that a lot of women out there are still at the back trying to see that, okay, maybe they can also, maybe their voice could be heard. So I think those 3 points, like solutions, the awareness, financial empowerment programs, and inclusive policy, would actually help. Thank you.
Thank you for me. If we are going to talk about stereotypes, I think we would be in this podcast for a long time. So I would not say some of the things that are coming to mind, because I heard a few things that I'm like, oh my God, yes, and yes. So I'm coming back to Mali. Mali, you have worked on so many community projects, right? When women get involved in philanthropy, what are the real measurable changes that happens? Let me break it down. Let me make it simple. Is there any community project you've done that had women contributing so well and led to such impact? Tell us a story about one of them.
Yeah, Bidemi, I've done a lot of community projects, and most of the community projects that I've done, it's women that give, it's women that are involved. Right now, we have a water project that is running, and this is just one woman who's funding the water project. It's a very expensive project of putting boreholes, but she's just taken it upon herself to just come and help the women. And what we have seen with the water projects is that we've seen women going into farming. We empowered them with farming inputs, and they're not going hungry. They're selling their vegetables. At least they have food on their table. And this is a woman who just wants to see that women are at least doing something, that women are at least empowered. And most of my, like the projects, the volunteers that I have, you find that it's women that are just coming on board. It's women contributing their time. It's women contributing to the finances. It's women giving their time to just come and cook for the children in the community. So I have seen women doing a lot in this journey and just giving themselves up to just help. And in particular, this same lady that I'm talking about that has just gone out of her way. She just says, no, Mali, we have to do this. We tell her there's this community where they need water, and she'll just say, we have to do it. We need, because those women, the children, if we don't give them the water, then they're going to suffer. So we need to empower them. Let's do something to just empower the women. And just some 3 weeks ago, when we had the generosity survey for Giving Tuesday, we actually had a launch where we were launching the report to the community, and we just had to empower one of the women in the community, because she's given herself up to just go all out and help the neighbors, where she's even taken up orphans in her house, and she stays in a 2-roomed house. But then she's just doing so much, and we just had to go all out and just empower her with. We took her to a tailoring school. We also just empowered her with a sewing machine to just appreciate her and to tell her that she can go ahead with the work that she's been doing for the community, and at least she'll have an income to even help more. Yeah, so women are just there to make an impact in the community, to improve the community, to you can't really it's if you talk about measuring, it's something that you cannot even measure, because the work that the women are doing. Yeah, it's difficult to even measure it, but then they are doing something. I've seen it in my organization. I've seen women give, and which just also inspires me to do more, because this is a fellow woman who's just given up herself to just come and entirely, like I would just say, fund the organization. She, like the projects that I do in Zambia for Giving Tuesday, she entirely funds them all by herself. Even when I'm trying to give up, and she says, no, we need to help that child. We need to help that woman who is in need. So let's go ahead and do it. Yeah.
I am aware of how much we give women, as just as I am, how much we give back to the society. The fact that we give even when it looks like we don't have enough, we give. So
Yeah.
clearly, this is not a question of you have to have enough to give. It's just a question of you have something to give. And
To
that's
give.
what we
Yeah.
do every day. I want to ask one last question, and this is to both of you. Earlier this year, we started a campaign called WomenGive. We asked women to reflect on their life journey and share when a woman invested in them. Obviously, WomenGive is broad, so clearly we wanted to see how women were also supporting women. I want to ask you both this question. Could you take a moment to reflect on your journey and then tell me about a woman that invested in you and probably how her contribution in your life, you know, led you down this path, for example? So I'm coming to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I would say one person that I could actually well, going back, and we are still together up to this very moment, and she's always very supportive. I see her as more like my mentor. She's my she's my boss's friend. When I finished law school, the law firm I first worked with, I met her through my boss because she was a friend to my boss. And up to this very moment, because she's in the development ward, and when I came up with um, founding Dugu Charity, she was one of the person I went to meet that, oh, I want you to be on the board of trustees. And ever since then, any program I'm having, anything I'm doing, you always see her there. She's always there. She would always come around. She would always support, and so she's more like my mentor, Mrs. Francis.
Oh, my cheek hurts from smiling so much. Mali, I'm gonna come to you. Tell us about a woman that has invested in you in any way.
Well, I have a lot of women, but right now I'll talk about one that we are with on this forum, Folakemi. Our journey, it started as a joke when we met in Portugal. And, where we are just talking about the projects that we are doing. I was talking about what I'm doing in Zambia, her telling me about what she's doing in Nigeria, and where we're just sharing notes. We shared a lot of notes, spent a lot of time together. And she told me about the the masters that she was doing in sustainable humanitarian action, and and she was telling me, no, just apply for it. Yeah, I'm sure they are going to pick you. And I kept on saying, Fulakemi, I can't apply for this. I mean, look at the requirements that they are asking for. I don't think I qualify, and I'm not going to do it. But this is a person that kept on pushing me. She kept on sending me WhatsApp messages. Mali, have you applied? She kept on sending me the link until I just ended up giving in. And today it's a success story. I'm also a graduate with a master's in sustainable humanitarian because of her stubborn faith and yeah, because of her stubborn faith and just pushing me. And that's a relationship that I don't take for granted. So I'm saying, obviously, as women, we should. This is somebody who shared the information, and most of the times people will say, "No, women don't share information. Women keep things to themselves." But I think when there's an opportunity that comes, Folakemi will like tell me, "Mali, there's this. Have you seen this? Can you try this?" When there's something, I'll tell Folakemi, "There's this. I'm having difficulties with this. How can you help me?" So it's just a relationship that has just been built, and it's I actually call her my senior when it comes to sustainable humanitarian. I call her, like I always say, you give respect to seniority. Yeah, so that's a relationship that I'll live to treasure and appreciate Giving Tuesday for, because we came to know each other because of Giving Tuesday. So there are
Yes.
benefits in generosity. There are, sometimes you feel like there's nothing that you're doing. You feel like you're just giving out. But then here, that master's was very expensive. It was $20,000, and it was a full 100% scholarship,
Scholarship,
everything
yeah.
paid for. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna
Thank you,
cry, but I
Mali.
will not cry. That is the sweetest I have heard. Like in the history of this series, I've been hearing amazing stories, but this is This is amazing. Let's also talk about this relationship between you and Folakemi Mali. When we started the Women Give campaign at the beginning of the year, at the hub level, Folakemi showed interest, obviously, and she has been able to spotlight over 20 women
Yeah.
under the Women Give umbrella. And the next thing I heard is Mali is also doing this thing. I'm like, yes, that's the spirit. I love it. And now we are
Yeah.
doing the Youth Give Africa contest. Obviously, Folakemi being the amazing superhero that she is, joined the
Yeah.
campaign. And because of our influence, we had other country leaders join. And then
Yeah.
I heard, I'm going to tell Mali about this. And she did tell you. And next thing I know,
Yeah.
you are in the WhatsApp group. I was so glad when that happened. Let us talk
Yeah.
about how you are owning these campaigns. I think it's beautiful to see how you see the opportunities that lie within amplifying generosity to these demographics. Tell me about Women Give in Zambia and tell me about Youth Give in Zambia. And then I come to Folakemi.
Okay, so about the Women Give, like I wasn't even like you said, Folakemi started the campaign, and she was telling me, Mali, why don't you, like, you have a lot of women that give in Zambia, why don't you highlight them on Women's Day? Why don't you just highlight so that you appreciate them? She actually went all out and made a poster for me and said, can you use this so that you can just highlight the women that really support you? And there are quite a number, but I think I highlighted over 20 on our Facebook page. And I know, Bidemi, I still owe you. I need to send you. I need to send you that Google file, which I'll send very soon. And yeah, so it's something. This is something that I think we take for granted. But then when you appreciate somebody who has been helping or who has been supporting a community generosity, and you just highlight them and you just tell them that we appreciate you, we appreciate the works that you are doing. I think they also feel good to know that, okay, yes, I'm doing something, and I'm actually contributing something to society, even if it might not be much, but it's making a difference in somebody's life. It's making a difference in that child's life. It's making a difference in another woman's life who might be more vulnerable than I am. So it's actually a very, very good campaign. And the more you highlight, like the women that help with generosity, you find that they want to do more. They'll even call you. Is there something that I can do? Maybe I have shoes for a vulnerable child. I have this that I can give. Yeah, so it's actually a very, very good campaign, and I'm glad that I am part of that campaign, and I'm glad that I highlighted some of the women that have been supporting the projects.
Falakemi, let's come to you. Tell me something about Women Give in Nigeria. Let the world know what you've been doing.
Okay, so the Women Give campaign, we actually felt like, okay, how can we possibly recognize and give these women visibility, most especially these women in the development work? So we thought to ourselves that, okay, International Women's Day is coming. It's a great opportunity to, reach out to these women and create a platform for them to shine, to put their work out there. So, and that was why we came up with we joined the campaign Women Give, so that we can highlight and celebrate the contribution of these women. And we're able to spotlight over 20 of them, and they were very happy. We received, messages talking about how, like appreciating us for encouraging them, and it's a form of support from Giving Tuesday Nigeria to these women. So it actually gave them visibility, because I we're able to actually talk about what they are doing on our media pages, and it was a success story. So we are looking forward to next year, and right now we are having Youth Give campaign. So Youth Give campaign is on, and we're going to be having a second edition of the Giving Voices Instagram live series, whereby we would have different people coming, young people coming to tell their stories, how they've impacted their community. So that's it.
Thank you so much, Mali and Folakemi. You are amazing. Now, a quick announcement to everybody listening. With respect to the Women Give campaign, Giving Tuesday is gathering stories of empowerment, of generosity, and impact across the continent that celebrates women. We are calling on women to give voice, to inspire, and accelerate the investment in women's future. So, if you can join us, if you have a story to share, please send us a video, send us a text, tell us something, give us, all of these amazing stories that we're hearing right now. If you have something to share, we are happy to listen to those stories. We're going to include a link to the form where you can do this right here as you're listening to this podcast episode. Also, if you got to this point, we are delighted to see that these stories have touched your heart. And if you are feeling stirred and you want to dive deeper, there's a whole community of incredible journeys and moments of impact waiting for you. Feel free to join the Giving Tuesday movement. All you have to do is go to GivingTuesday.org and you are going to be amazed by what you see. Thank you, Folake. Thank you, Mali, for joining us on this episode. I am so glad we did this. I'm really happy. And I pray that this podcast episode comes out as quickly as possible so people can hear these amazing stories.
Amen.
Thank you so much. And bye, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.